Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from prettypapercards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today with my little Yorkshire Terrier, Ellie. How are you, baby? How are you today? Let me check and make sure we're live. She had a little burp there. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's showing that we're live. Good, good. That's what we want. So let me just do one more thing here. Okay. Well, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. It's a Friday. And Ruth, good to see you. You made it home in time. Good. Pam, I see that you're watching too. Welcome. I hope you guys are having a relief-filled Friday, late afternoon. Yeah, hi Pam. How's your weather where you are, Miss Pam? Here, Ruth lives near me and we are overcast and humid. So, I don't know. We did have some rain last night. Lori, good to see you. And Louise from New York. Oh, I bet it's fall in New York already. I have a friend who's visiting her kids in Brooklyn, and she told me that, or she sent me a picture actually, of them, and leaves were falling all around. I was so excited about that. Hey Beth. Hey Tina. Fall is here. Yes. Oh, this is the time I do wish I lived back east, but it's been cloudy, and so we're thankful for what we have. Tina. Yes. Ohio is a little chilly today, and that's a good thing. That does show that fall has come. And our temperatures are down too, which is a surprise, right, Ruth? Because usually in October we have very high temperatures, so weather is changing all different places. Well, we have a lot of fun stuff. Oh, nor'easter, Lori. Yes, is it to do with that storm? We've been watching the news and it's been talking about a storm. And I was wondering if it was that. There's just lots of weird weather going on all over the place. But it's Friday, yay! What are you guys planning on doing? Yes, Ruth, what are you guys planning on doing for the weekend? We are relaxing this weekend. Let me just switch her over here. I've mentioned to you guys that my mother-in-law passed away a few weeks ago, and you've all been so kind to send me the nicest, both my husband and Louise, 49. Wow. You've sent such nice sympathy cards and goodies, and I'm just so thankful. And I think, kind of the worst of it is over. There's Roz. How are you? But we're still, we're going to be dealing with stuff for a long time because we're the closest relatives. My husband is the closest sibling out of 6. So like he was down at her house today, and it's going to take quite a while. She lived in her house for 60 years in the same house. Can you imagine? But that also tells you, 60 years of stuff. So, oh, Tina has a class tomorrow. Good. Excellent. I'm sure you'll have lots of fun. Well, I have something adorable that a dear friend sent me that I must show you. You guys, look at this tumbler. Is it so cute? It has Ellie on the front. Look at that. Carol, good to see you. I love it, and I am using it constantly since I opened it. It's just so precious, and it matches my little girl, so we like it. We just love it. So you'll see me drinking out of this a lot, and it's like thermal, so things stay cool, and I love it. Isn't that just so cute, Carol? It has a Yorkie on each side, so no matter what direction you're showing it, a cute little, yeah, you like that, don't you? Yeah. Let me get a little sip before we start. Well, so good to see you guys. It is stinking cute, it is. So I have a card for you today, a fun fold, and we have some news to talk about, general news, reminders. It does look exactly like Ellie Ross. I love it. I just love it. Okay, I'm going to put her down. She had a bath this morning, by the way. My husband was gone to his mother's place, and I gave her a bath so she'd look all pretty and clean for you guys and for us. Okay, so I'm going to turn you down and show you, we're going to talk about some news because I don't want you to miss out on anything. So this is the Traditions of Christmas tutorial bundle. If you need Christmas card ideas, this is what you need. There are 8 of us demonstrators who have created projects using the Traditions of Christmas tutorial bundle. And you can use it with any paper, any things that you have, because there are all kinds of different ideas on here. And if you spend $50 in my online store, I will send this to you free as my thank you gift. But also, if you're a demonstrator, you might want to order this. Oh, I need to put my little face on there. Okay, there we go. You can order this for $20 in my online store. And I'm going to copy some of these. They are so, look at that one there. They are so nice. I didn't even do a fun fold, but most of them did fun folds. So you're going to be seeing some of these fun folds from me. Okay, the next thing is the Advent calendar, the 12 Days of Crafting Advent calendar. And I mentioned before that Dr. Robin and I are making PDF, we're making cards. We're each making 4 cards using the contents of this 12 Days of Crafting Advent calendar. Now the contents are not Christmas. They're not, actually I would say non-Christmas. And so Dr. Robin and I have each made 4 cards, and we've made PDF tutorials. If you order this from either one of us, you will get all 8 PDF tutorials. And I've been showing a few sneak peeks of a couple of my cards, but I thought I'll show them all to you. The Advent calendar is still available. I think it's called Advent just because you can open 1 door a day if you want to, and there are 12 doors. But I opened them all right away. I had to, and there's all kinds of fun stuff. So here are some of the cards. These are my 4 cards. And when you get the Advent calendar from me, well, either one of us, Dr. Robin or myself, you'll get PDFs for all of our cards. I've seen hers, but I don't have pictures for you. And we just had so much fun. There is some pink in here, and I love it. I have one that's a bit fun, like a fun fold. I like this one because it has the cupcake on it. So this is kind of a fun fold. It opens like that. It's a little different opening. So if you need ideas, if you want to have the fun of opening the Advent calendar, if you want to give it to a friend, share it with a friend, there are very pretty things in here in this box. I love it. Okay, and then I have a new class to go, and I want to show you those cards. It uses the Christmas Tags and More Mix and Match Designer Series paper, which I've been raving about. And I always sneak peek you guys. I always give you sneak peeks. And instead of having only 3 designs and making 6 cards, 2 of each design, because these are quick and easy, it's called quick and easy, I'm giving you 4 designs, and you're going to make 8 cards in this kit. And this one opens. I'm not going to open because I don't want to untie the bow, but it opens and this part pops off. And this is like a book fold, book binding. And this one opens like this. And this is just kind of a standard one, but it uses this beautiful paper, very Christmassy, very traditional. And it uses the traditional labels bundle, which is fabulous. It's a fabulous bundle. Love the sentiments for the holidays. So if you're interested in my class, the pre-order ends on Monday. I have a short little window for the pre-order because I want to make sure that I can get all the products that are in this class. This is a class to go. It's $49.95 for everything you need except the bundle. And you get, that includes shipping. And if you want to add the bundle, it's $92.95. So email me. There's actually a link down below on YouTube, up above on Facebook, for you to pre-order my class. And this might be the last Christmas class before Christmas because, you know, we have to have the time to get the cards. I'll just kind of put them out again because they're so pretty. I love them. So it might be the last class to go that's a Christmas one, except if I might do tags. So if you want this class, click the link there. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the starter kit special. And I wanted to ask you guys, do you have $35? If you do, and you're not a demonstrator, you've never gotten the Stampin' Up! Starter Kit, you need to get it. You get $125 in product for only $35, and it all ships free. I made a cute little video that I'm going to be posting maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, talking a little bit about being a demonstrator. And so watch for that video. But if you have never ordered the starter kit, it's an amazing deal and you'll want to do it. It's the best deal ever. And this is good through October 31st. Okay, are you ready to see the card we're going to make today? Okay, this is the fun fold, and that's the back. Da, 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 and here's the front. And it closes up like this and fits in an envelope. Thank you. And it's a really cute fun fold, and then the person who receives it, it stands up like this. And of course you're seeing it, you know, from the top. But it's really a cute card, and I'm going to show you how to make it. I got this idea from Dr. Robin. She actually does more fun folds than I do. She really does. And so I get a lot of my ideas from her. But I'm going to give you all the measurements and everything. So if you want to take them down, if you want to make some of these cards, and it is easy. This is really not hard. Just to show you, before I came on, I was using the new pre-order products, the new online exclusives that go live on November 5th, I think. And I had pre-ordered this paper, this whole suite actually. And it's called Brushed with Beauty. And I just made the card base with this new designer series paper. Isn't that pretty? We're all gonna really like this. Okay, so here's our card for today. And if you want to know the measurements, then get a paper and pencil so that you can jot everything down, because I'm going to take you from start to finish so you can make this card. And it's not hard at all. Oh, you just got your elegant pine paper today, Lori. Yes, I forgot to mention this is the elegant pine paper. Thank you so much for reminding me. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful paper, and it uses Pretty Peacock, which I used here, and cherry cobbler, and lots of colors. So we're going to start, and we need to do the scoring. Thanks, Colleen. We need to do the scoring on an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and this is Pretty Peacock. And the scoring is the trick to the card. It really is. So we're going to score as normal at 4 1/4. That would be, this is our normal card size, and we are going to score as normal at 4 1/4. But then you score at 2 1/8 on each end. So I'm going to put that right at 2 1/8. I think, yep, that's working. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is just flip it over because it's easier, and go at 2 1/8 on the other end. And this is the card base. So what we're going to do is fold in like we normally would, and let me burnish these. And then we're going to fold back on the front and the back like that. And again, we'll just burnish that. So this now is your card. Isn't that easy? Your standard 4 1/4, and then just half of that, 2 1/8 on each end. So that's your card base. Now we want to put our beautiful designer series paper on all 4 panels. You don't have to. You know, you could design your own and put 2 panels of one and 2 panels of another, but I'm going to make all 4 panels the same. And so I've got my piece of elegant pine that I want, designer series paper that I want to use, and the designer series paper is cut at 5 1/4 to start, so I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4, and then I'm going to cut my 4 pieces, each one at 1 7/8, so that's just an 1/8 inch before the 2 inch mark, and I need 4 of these, 1 for each panel, at 1 7/8. You know, if I was thinking about it the other day, everything is math. You know, math is not my favorite thing, but even in card making, we have to know math. So I do work at it, but I'd much rather think about pretty papers and ribbons, wouldn't you? Okay, so now we have our 4 pieces of designer series paper, and all we're going to do is adhere them to each panel. So we'll just go ahead and do that, and one secret here, and there's the back of the paper. That would look pretty too. We could make 2 panels of that and 2 panels of the, we could do that. It really is kind of pretty, isn't it? Should we do that? What do you guys think? I don't know, it's kind of different. Should we try it just for a change? Let's just do it since I noticed that. Although, you know what I might do is put, I think I want this on the front because I like it. And we'll put this on the last panel. Let's do it that way. Okay, so I'm going to just put a very thin line of glue. And another thing, bring your thin line of glue back about 1/4 inch, because the closer you get it to the edge, the more chance that your glue will come out. You know, it'll come out of the edge, and then you'll have a sticky spot, which nobody likes, a sticky spot. Okay, do it. We're doing it. So we'll go with this piece, and again, a thin line, and back about 1/4 inch from the edge, and that helps you not get sticky fingers. You know, sometimes when you have a beginner stamper, they get lots of glue on their fingers, but as you learn more, as you advance a little bit in your stamping, you learn to put how not to get glue on your fingers. And I mean, we still do, of course, but when you learn things, little tricks like this, like keeping your glue back from the edge, there is less chance that you're going to get glue all over your fingers. And what I'm trying to do is kind of keep those top and bottom, you know, borders consistent throughout. You just ordered, Joanne, good. I'm glad you did. Okay. You know, there's a joke, and I know you guys have seen it because it's been around for a long time, that your favorite thing to do, and it is kind of mine, I think it's all of ours, is add to cart. Have you seen that, like a little joke? What do I do when I'm depressed? Add to cart. I know. That makes me laugh so much because it's so true. Okay. And I like it. I like the way we decided to do that with both sides. Okay, so there's our card base. Now we need to make the other little card, because if you notice, it's like another little card goes on top. And I grabbed a piece, and I think it actually is just the right size, but I'm going to check it. I just grabbed it out of my scraps. This is cherry cobbler. And this is supposed to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So let's check it. 5 1/2 4 1/4. It is. Wow. You're going to always be a beginner. I agree, Beth. We all are in some ways. Okay, and so we're going to score this only once at 2 3/4. If you're writing measurements down, 2 3/4 is your score. And then let's get this burnished because we want to make sure our card folds really nicely when we put it in the envelope. Okay. Now for the designer series papers. So for this, I thought we would use, for this panel, I thought we'd use this pretty one. Now let me check though. Do we think it looks okay with the new way we've done that? Maybe we need to pull a different one. Let's see what else we've got here. Because I've got other patterns. We might want this one instead. What do you think? I'm kind of thinking this one. What do you guys think? I'm going to go for this instead because this, I think, has too much of the light green, more olive. I don't think it blends as well with the peacock, but this one does. So we're going to go with this. Okay. So for the designer series paper, for the little mini card, this is going to be 2 1/2 by 4. So let's just make a hole. We'll cut it at 2 1/2 all the way down. And we'll just cut this at 4. Just like this. Okay. And sometimes they get kind of stuck over there. That might be just about all we need to do there. So now we just glue these pieces on, and then I'm going to show you how to attach. Thank you. Yes, better choice. And a pine cones. It does look good. So again, adhere our glue, and then put it down, trying to get the edges, the frame of the designer series paper kind of equal. See, this really doesn't look good with the pretty peacock. I mean, it looks good with the others, but once we turn that one page around, it kind of looked a little, we needed to do this. Okay, so here we go. Now, this is the tricky part. You like the pine cones? Okay, Roz, me too. So now what we do is we need to glue this on just like that. So we're going to just take a look. It's about, what, 1/2 inch from the edge of the designer series paper. Now, one thing that I did is I took out a sample because you don't want to pull this out so far that it won't fit in an envelope, right? But, well, we could just use the envelope. I have some other little papers in here. So here's our envelope. We want to make sure when we glue it down that it's going to fit in the envelope. So do you see what I mean? If we stick it too close to the edge, if we stick this piece too close to the edge, it might be too big for an envelope. So what we want to make sure to do is pull it in so that it does fit nicely in the envelope. And that is about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, right like that. And that'll fit well inside of our envelope. Okay. So what I have found is the best thing to do is to glue the front, and then we'll glue the back. And I'm just going to flatten this a little bit more with my bone folder. Okay. So I'm going to just, on this piece, I already know it's going to be about 1/2 inch, right? So staying back from the edge, I'm adding my glue about 1/2 inch, about like that. And then I'm going to put more glue on the inside. And then we'll just lay that down. And it looks about the same distance on the top, from the top and the bottom. And let's check the back. We want to make sure no glue came out there, and it did not. Okay. Just let that set for 1 second, and then we're going to check and make sure it does fit right inside our envelope. It's going to be perfect. It looks a little crooked, maybe, doesn't it? Maybe I was holding it crooked. Okay, it'll be fine. And then when you do the back, it's really easy because now You don't need to move anything around. You just put your glue the same way here and just press it right down. Not getting too close to the edges, but yet we want plenty of glue in the center so that it doesn't detach for any reason. And we'll just press that down. Okay. And there's the base of our card, and then you just decorate. Isn't that fun? I love that. Okay, now we're just going to decorate. And for decorating, what I'm going to do, I mentioned to you about the Christmas tags and more mix and match designer series paper. It's 6 by 6. It has such a long name. It doesn't roll off the tongue. But it comes with all these little pre-die cut pieces. I know this is going to make a mess, but this is what I did with the other card. I just opened this up and found some pieces that I liked, that I thought would look good with my card. And so now I was going to use the wreath. The other one I used the wreath, but that's kind of, thanks, Roz. That's still a little bit too light, so I think we want to rely more on the reds. Okay, so here's a nice ornament that we could put on. That would be cute. And you can just pick and choose from these fun. I really like these little goodies. And here's a little small ornament, a little too green. Ooh, here are bells. We could also use some bells if we want. Let's keep thinking. Another little ornament. So we could put some little ornaments on the front. I don't know, I just like this because you don't really need to worry about what stamp set you're going to use or whatever. I mean, I am going to use a sentiment on the other side, but it's just fun just to use these little parts. What do you think? They need more holiday paper. Yes. Hi, Lynn. Good to see you. And there is some nice little holly, although it doesn't go with the color. Let's see. Oops, I've got it upside down. Here's our front. Okay, I do really like these two ornaments. I think maybe we're just going to stick with that. And let's see. There are some red bows. I thought there might have been a couple of red bows here. Here's a red bow. We could grab the red bows and put on there. No. We're just thinking, we're just pondering, but I do like the ornaments. So let's go with the ornaments, and we'll put those on some dimensionals. We'll put the upper one first, and then we'll have the lower one kind of fall over it, if you know what I mean. So we'll do this. And then let's put the other one right like that. Okay, so we'll put our dimensionals a little bit lower. And I think what we're going to do is we are going to tie some real red and white. Hello, Julia. Good to see you. Cardinals, yes. Okay, we'll use those on the other side, Lori. Good idea. Let's put a couple of tiny bows on the top of the ornaments with this. I love this. I really call it peppermint baker's twine. It's just so cute. I just think it's so cute. And we'll put a little one on each ornament. Right like that. And let me get my little mini glue dots. And we'll just stick a little glue dot on each one. Okay, so we'll put a glue dot right in the center of the little ornament holder, which I like that they have that. And then we'll put our knot right on top of that and press down. Okay, there's one. I think this is going to be cute. I like it. And let's tie another one. And then we'll do the other side, and we're going to stamp a sentiment on the other side. And these bows are little. They're little tiny because it's a little space. It's really like a mini card on a larger card. So we'll go ahead and put our mini glue dot in there, and our little bow, and trim the edges. The bows aren't exactly even, but equal. One's a little bigger than the other one. Okay, so there's one side. I think that's pretty cute. And then we've got this side. Now for this, what I'm going to do is, I've got a scrap piece here. And let me see. I guess I'm going to use this scrap piece. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment that I like, the one I used on the other card, from the Jolly Holly stamp set. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. You like the bows? Thanks, Julia. Okay, so I'm going to use this sentiment, and I'm using Cherry Cobbler ink because that's the color I used right here, because it's one of the colors in the paper, in all the designer series paper, the Snowflake designer series paper. Okay, so we're just going to stamp that. And now I'm going to cut it with a little die. Let me get my little machine up here. And I'm going to use the Nested Essentials dies. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think this one right here is going to be the one that we want. So put this guy in here. That fits really well, doesn't it? The Nested Essentials are another one of those basic kind of dies that you can use for everything. Okay. Isn't that pretty? I just like the way that fits in that die so well. Okay, so now we can put this over here, and I love the idea of the cardinals. So let me find some of the cardinals here. Okay, here's one. Here's a cardinal. Maybe that's really all we need is, you know, I'm not, how do they, is that kind of the way they go? Like that? I guess so, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm not going to use dimensionals on this. Come on, glue. Just a little glue. And put this right in the center. And then we could use a dimensional on the cardinal. Or let's see where we think I think it has to be right here. I guess it has to be right there. So we'll use a little dimensional on him. That is very cute. Good idea. Now, you might be wondering, where is someone going to write on this card? Because now we have it, and we don't have a place to write. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a little panel right there out of basic white, and we're going to decorate it with a few more of those little die cut pieces. So this is going to be 5 1/4 by 1 7/8 again. And we're just going to go ahead and adhere that. You can choose to adhere it on any one of the panels, or you could adhere them white on a bunch of panels on the back there. But I really think it only needs one because we had our sentiment on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back here. Just like that. And now we can add a few more little things. And I was thinking about, like, maybe, let's just add one thing. We could add a candy cane. Well, or we could add, maybe that's too big. Maybe we could add a little gift. This is a cute little tiny gift. I mean, don't you think these little things are fun? They really are. And it makes it so easy. You just have all these little doodads to choose from. So I think we'll just put a little gift right down there. And we do have our envelope. We could glue a little something on our envelope. Where'd it go? Here's our little envelope. We could do a candy cane on our envelope. Let's do that just for fun. I mean, I know there's a chance it could come off in the mail, but maybe it won't. Let's just put a little candy cane right there. Okay, so there, let me press this down a little more to make sure that's adhering there. And there's our card. Very cute. And that's one side, here's the other side, and then when they receive their card, they can just stand it up. And that's how it looks. It turned out really nice, and again, all these little pieces parts are so much fun. The beautiful paper, the beautiful little pieces, the sentiment. I hope this gives you a really good idea of a pretty card to make, a fun card. Vicky, good to see you. You can do this with any paper you have. And I don't know, I would recommend that you get this Christmas Tags and More Mix and Match Designer Series paper. It comes in 6x6. But if you're interested, you could also get my Class to Go, where you get a half a pack of it and some of the little guys, some of the little goodies. So it's on my blog today, all the details, prettypapercards.com. Okay, let's come up and award a prize. We've got to give a prize, and we had a great card from last Friday. We made a really fun fold. I try to do fun folds on Friday. And do you remember this one if you were with us? I love the way it came out. And you take the belly band off, and then it has these 4 little arches. And then we put some leaves on the inside. So this is the prize for today. And I just love giving you guys cards. I sent a bunch out the other day. I know some of you have received them for some of the winners. And I usually send them out about once every 2 weeks. I can't do it all the time, but about once every 2 weeks. So there's today's card with an envelope. And the winner is Shirley Griffith. Shirley, congratulations. I know your address, and I'm going to be sending this card to you in a week or so when I sit down and put everything in the mail. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys watching, and that's why I love to send you my cards. Have a wonderful weekend, and if you have any questions about anything, just email